I don't know. This is the time of year that starts to get me very excited for football. Here we go.
It's just getting scratched. We're getting the training camp videos, dude. There's nothing better than training camp clip in early August, man.
Everyone's winning the Natty. Everyone's quarterback's winning the Heisman.
I think it's just
I saw a video of Aiden Childs. Sorry to interrupt. I saw a video of Aiden Childs at Michigan State just throw a beautiful deep ball, and I was like, "Holy shit, he might win the Heisman this year."
Look, I'm still holding stock there. I'm an Aiden Childs stockholder.
You're watching Domed in Cuse, the quick hit podcast for real Orange fans. If you love Cuse sports, hit like and subscribe. Let's go Orange.
All right. So we're back. Another Domed in Cuse episode. Looking at summer camp, seeing what's happening. I don't know. This is the time of year that starts to get me very excited for football. Here we go.
It's just getting scratched. We're getting the training camp videos, dude. There's nothing better than training camp clip in early August, man.
Everyone's winning the Natty. Everyone's quarterback's winning the Heisman.
I think it's just
I saw a video of Aiden Childs. Sorry to interrupt. I saw a video of Aiden Childs at Michigan State just throw a beautiful deep ball, and I was like, "Holy shit, he might win the Heisman this year."
Look, I'm still holding stock there. I'm an Aiden Childs stockholder. Rough year last year, tumbled a little bit, but he's still young. I still believe there.
I mean, when you see some of these videos, like, you know, it doesn't matter who the guy is. Sometimes it gets you pretty hyped. You see these guys.
Workout king, that guy, you know. But no, I think honestly, Cuse camp is starting to heat up. I think there's some interesting position battles that I know we've talked about at length, but even just some guys early in camp who are starting to pop.
Let's go with that. Why don't we talk some names then?
Yeah, I'm down to jump into it. I think honestly, first guy I think that is popping, and I think we're hearing it from the staff as well. Daryl Gill on the outside, man. I know it's a guy we both like. I think last year around this time, it was starting to happen similarly to what's happening again this year, where you're starting to see videos come out of camp and you're like, who is 82? He is making plays. I don't know who that is, but he's catching the ball open downfield all the time. And
that deep ball threat.
And it wasn't a guy who was hugely on the radar last year, ended up being really productive last season. And I think, like, frankly, is poised to really be in a nice position to have a big-time year this year. I think I'd need to check the stats. I know almost entirely through the year, he was a guy with 0 drops last season. So he's just a really reliable target. I think, frankly, the guy's just kind of undeniable when he's on the outside. He just makes plays, and he's forcing the staff to get him on the field. And I think that's exactly what you want to see from guys in camp.
Deep ball threat. I mean, we've talked about this in college football. You need a deep ball threat. You need to be able to throw the ball deep. Like, you know, these defenses, they can, when you play in college, like, you can see it. When these defenses can get up to the line and everything's in front of the safeties and the offense is easy, it's all short passes and whatever, these defenses can tamp you down a little bit. You know, I think if you look back at the Ohio State game versus Michigan, where when they played that game, Ohio State seemed to be playing it pretty safe, but also they wanted to play like that bully ball style and beat Michigan. But everything was short routes. Everything was running the ball in front of them. And then the second they flipped that and they went into the playoff, and all of a sudden they were like, let's just have Jeremiah Smith run down the field and throw it to him. These defenses completely lost contain on that offense, and they looked like a completely different team. So you have to have that threat down the field. Otherwise, these college defenses compress and they can make plays.
Yeah, totally. I totally agree. And I think he's shown that ability to make plays down the field. So it's exciting. I know we've talked about it. I think this is a really exciting receiving group. And again, maybe not the guy that most people thought of first
coming in,
group, you know, but he's a guy who just, again, is productive. And I know one thing we've talked about is having reliable targets on the outside to replace guys like a Jackson Meeks, who you need to be able to trust in big downs, and be interesting to see if that could materialize with Gill here a bit.
And the other thing is, I like to see guys who were here last year and they got a year under Fran Brown, and now it's like, all right, you had that year, you had some good veteran leadership. How do you take that away? And building on that platform, another guy just like that I know we're super excited about is Yazin Wills, right? And like, here's a kid who got to sit back and watch, one of the all-time great Syracuse running backs, and I'm willing to put LeQuint in that conversation with Sean Tucker and Jim Brown and anybody, because LeQuint was a dog who did whatever we needed him to. Pass pro, catching, rushing the ball. And you can see that in Jacksonville. They already love him because the guy does everything, and that is something that Nixon talked about a lot in preseason. Fran talked about. They say we don't want to recruit just a guy who runs the ball. We want guys who could do everything. We want guys who do pass pro, guys who run the ball. So I'm really excited to see what Willis offers to the table. I'm a big believer. I think he's going to have a monster year. I think he's going to have a huge year. I think maybe not this year, but next year, he has lead the ACC in rushing type potential, this kid.
I mean, dude, look at this guy. I mean, he looks like a freaking monster, dude. I mean, he is every bit of 235 out there. I mean,
and you see the way he ran against UNLV last year when he was smaller. Like, now he's even full year bigger. Like,
I think honestly, he impressed me at times a little bit with his quickness last year. Like, I wasn't expecting him to move as well as he did, particularly as a freshman, adjusting to speed and just kind of reading an offensive line. Like, I thought he actually looked pretty explosive for a guy his size last year. I think he's going to be a huge piece of our program here the next couple of years. And
I mean, NCAA gave him the tag of elusive bruiser.
Yeah.
And I like that.
I think that's a pretty apt description, to be honest with you. I mean, look, he's not going to be fun to play against, I think, for ACC teams.
Not a guy anybody's going to want to tackle.
No, and I know we've talked about this a bit on the side, but one of my favorite takeaways of the offseason, like you said, was Coach Nixon in his press conference the other day just saying, look, we do not recruit backs who cannot catch the ball. That is a requirement here at Syracuse. And I can't love that anymore. Like, that just shows that there is a plan and a process with how we want to play here at Syracuse. And we're bringing in guys who fit that and guys who are talented and fit that bill. So,
but guys who fit the scheme, which is important. It's not like scatter plot talent. It's, hey, this is the guy that we think fits what we need to do at Syracuse to win, and that's big. Another guy that's like that, and I'm excited for both these guys, the Kerr brothers. One was here last year, one's coming in, and these are the kind of guys on the outside. They're a bit skinnier, but they're a little tall. They have the frame.
Track athletes,
Yeah. And they have the speed. And these guys on the outside could be big difference makers for us. I know we've got other guys there. Raheem Long's another guy who I think could be big on the outside for us. We have plenty of guys, but those are two guys I'm definitely looking forward to. Samuel, everybody talks about Samuel, so we don't need to dive into that. But those two guys specifically, the Kerr brothers, what could they do for us?
Totally. I agree. I think those are definitely two guys on the outside to keep an eye on. And I think that's just, again, going to be another really competitive group there, that cornerback room here. Sticking on that side of the ball, I think linebacker group, another group that I think, frankly, there's a lot to win in camp for these guys right now. I think it's just a group that there's a lot of opportunity for guys on the roster here. And I think
Sparrow, Bryant, Hurd,
Fatim Diggs, like, there's a lot of guys here who, like, there's going to be opportunity. Delorier, like, we've got a lot of guys here, and there's snaps to be won. And I think, honestly, I've been a little bit impressed from what I've seen from Anwar Sparrow here in the offseason. I think, honestly, I know we touched on this again a bit on another episode here, but he's a guy who was honestly productive a couple of years ago and looked like somebody who was maybe poised to take a leap. Some injuries, some opportunity, some scheme changes, like, fell down on the depth chart, portaled, came back very quickly ahead of the bowl game. I think, obviously, put his trust in the staff for his final year here of college. He looks pretty good, honestly, in some of these clips. He looks strong. He looks decisive. It'd be a nice story, honestly, to have a few more of these guys who were part of the Dino Babers era stick around, be part of the changing of the guard here for the Fran Brown era here in these first couple of years. And I think again, this is a position group where there's a lot of opportunity. So I've been impressed with him. I think, honestly, he's got a really good shot, I think, either to start and honestly maybe even be the signal caller at times on the defense there in the middle.